Less than a week after Senator Ali Ndume, Borno South APC Borno South lashed President Bola Tinubu-led government, the National Working Committee of the ruling All Progressive Congress has written the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, asking for the immediate sack of Ndume as Senate Chief Whip. Ndume had accused Tinubu's presidency of running a solo government despite hunger across the land, just as he had alleged in an interview that Tinubu had been fenced off and caged by certain forces and expressed concerns over the lack of appreciable action by Tinubu in tackling poverty, insecurity, hunger, and other pressing issues. The APC, in the letter read by the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, yesterday asked Ndume to resign from the party and join either the People's Democratic Party or any other opposition party. Immediately, the Senate sacked Ndume as the whip and replaced him with the chairman, Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, Senator Mohammed Tahir Monguno, APC Borno South North. APC in the letter also removed Senator Ali Ndume as Chief Whip of the 10th Senate and replaced him with Senator Mohammed Tahir Monguno, APC Borno North. With this development, Ndume, as a principal officer who was made the vice chairman, Senate Committee on Appropriations, was also dropped and replaced immediately with Monguno to be the vice chairman, Senate Committee on Appropriations, APC Ogun West. As a way of punishment, Ndume, a former Senate leader, chairman, Senate Committee on Army in the 9th Senate and Chief Whip in the present 10th Senate, was announced by the President of the Senate as chairman, Senate Committee on Tourism. Senator Adebomire Adeniyi Ayodele, APC Ondo Central, was immediately announced as Monguno's successor. Ndume's replacement by the Senate was a sequel to a directive issued to that effect in a letter written by the national chairman of the party, Umar Ganduje, and the national secretary, Senator Bashiru Ajebola. What is your take on this leaving?
It is so unfortunate that those who speak truth in Nigeria somehow are made to suffer the consequences of their actions. The letter written by the APC national chairman, also co-signed by the secretary, is another display of interference of the workings of the arm of government. The Senate, as an institution of government, is not an extension of the APC secretariat. It is the members of the Senate that determines who their principal officers should be, and not a suggestion from a political party. And so, if Ndume telling the president the obvious truth, if the president is not seeing the poor people like us, if he's not hearing us, the likes of Senator Ndume, who are close to, his likes are close to the government, they're also close to the people, closer to the people than the president. So they have a direct pulse of the people than the president. And if the presidency cannot hear from Senator Ndume, rather, he's being punished, in quote, because I do not see removing him as the chief whip of the house, whether it affects his own integrity and personality. Thank God he was not removed because he was seen somewhere in the shopping mall, maybe harassing innocent citizens, or maybe in the commission of a crime, because he spoke the truth. What was so wrong about the statement he made? The APC as a party never highlighted those statements that he made that were wrong in the circumstance. The only offense is that he, being a member of the political party, ought not to have been heard, ought not to have been seen.
The government.
Is that criticism or revealing, when you reveal the obvious truth, will you call that criticism? I do not see that to be a criticism. If you're not aware of the truth, and maybe I have the privilege of informing you what the truth is, that is not criticism. And so for me, Ndume, he should stand up tall, that he's being removed the chief whip,
on appropriation,
reshuffling him from
to tourism.
The tourism, yes, good. Some countries that are thriving today are thriving out of tourism. The revenue comes out from tourism. So if he can make something, apart from the previous, the minister who felt tourism is all about wearing Nigerian-made goods, attires, no minister has done something reasonable to boost our tourist environments. We have them, severally in Nigeria. River State, we have them. But we have not explored that angle of our wealth. And so if him being taken to that ministry, sorry, that committee could come out with some laudable policies that will influence the ministry through the Minister of Tourism and Culture to do that, why not? So he has not committed any offense. He only told the presidency the truth. And if that is an offense in the APC constitution, then the Ganduje should be able to tell us that Ndume infringed against the provisions of their own constitution. They should allow the arm of government to work independent. That removal was premised on the letter written by the National Party, which ought not to be so.
And the fact that the Senate president immediately acted on an instruction from a political party.
What do you expect? The procedure he came through, the allegiance he has made, even in public,
whatever the president brings. What do
you expect?
So do we have a democracy in Nigeria right now?
I think his removal was based on a vote of the House. If that is the case, it was the one for punishment, then whether he should be sanctioned. And the question I was asking, sanction Ndume for doing what? That there is no poverty in the land, that the citizens are not hungry, that the place is not secure. If those things were not true, then go ahead and sanction him, not only him, sanction the entire constituency. So if the president cannot answer those questions, then I think they should hide themselves in shame. But regrettably, there is no shame in politics.
Interesting. What is your take?
You know, this thing is politics. And when you talk politics, you have to be very practical. And I like to be practical with politics.
All right.
Because what happened there is politics in play. You know, Ndume, what he said was what is known by all Nigerians. And he spoke on national TV, and the party reacted. But we look at the processes of removal of a
principal officer.
Principal officer of the assembly. You know, before now, the little I know before now was that principal officers were elected by members of the House. Principal officers were elected by members, whether majority or minority leader, whatnot, were elected members of the House. But I think it was in the last assembly, the issue of Kingsley Chinda and Tony Elumelu, Ndudu Elumelu rather, came up. Then I think the rules were changed. Well, no, but whatever it is the House that makes the rules on how they elect their principal officers. No, so I think the rules were changed at that point in time, wherein it was now the party that will now recommend, apart from the Senate president, or that principal officer now recommend who will take what with respect to whip, minority leader, and majority leader. It is the party that will now majority whip and minority leader. Leader of the majority leader, minority leader, whip, minority whip, and majority whip. You know, these were issues that we are now changed. That it is party that will now recommend. Now the house, that is to say, the National Assembly now remove the powers of their powers and give it to the party. And that is what the APC acted on. You know, that's what the APC acted on. I sent that letter and Ndume was removed. But for me, I do not see anything wrong with the statement of Ndume with respect to the fact that Nigerians are hungry. But I see everything wrong with the process he followed. Because Ndume is one of the I say this because Ndume is one of the oldest serving senator we have currently in Nigeria.
All right.
And Ndume, by virtue of being the oldest, knows the intricacies of politics. As a member of a political party, and a hierarchy one for that matter, you can't just come to the public to speak against your party. You will be hammered. It is a fact. You cannot just come to the public and speak in that manner against your party, because they expect you that you utilize the internal mechanism made available in the party. It is after you have exhausted those processes that you can now come and say, okay, I'm helpless now. No, because Ndume first served with the president's wife. So if Ndume does not know how to reach the president and tell the president that this is what I'm thinking, this is what you need to do, Ndume has the president's wife. They didn't look for a way to get to her, even if, let's say, they are not in good terms. But by virtue of his office and being a former colleague, he can get up to her. Ndume is from Borno State. The vice president, Kashim Shettima, is from Borno State with him. Did he get to his own statement to say, these are the issues I have, how can we do this? Did he get to the senior president? I want to see the president. No, because I listened to him when he was on one of your sister stations. Mm-hmm. He said he had tried means to reach the president. He wanted to reach the president, but whenever he gets to that sort of, they're always blocking him. They always blockade and whatnot. No, for me, I felt like there are other means.
He could explore.
You could have explored to get to the president. And even if it takes you writing a personal letter to him privately, and after you must have exhausted all these processes, then you now know that, okay, I don't try you, I have tried to reach to you, but since I cannot reach you and tell you what I wanted to tell you and how I'm feeling, I will now go to national TV. So his removal, politically justifiable, because he cannot be working in a system you are disagreeing with. Two cannot work together unless they agree. That is the simple truth.
All right. Now the thing will be this removal of Ndume because he criticized the government, because the president. The truth.
Let's not use criticizing.
Well,
the circumstance.
The APC is seeing it as an unwelcome criticism. That's what it is.
Because just because he's a member of their political party.
The truth, to a large extent, could be subjective. Do you get? Some persons may argue that that truth is not truth. And they may have tenable arguments. While other persons, like you said... I believe you. So I would rather use the word criticism, that's safe.
I would have so loved that you have those tenable arguments. Yeah.
I am not the one.
No, I'm just
thinking the truth remains that some persons will also critique some of the things he has said. It's
no doubt
for them. But in this case, he criticized the government in power, which he is a part of. They belong to the same political party. Now, one would wonder, regardless of the politics that you said, that politics has to take place, how does that project the party to Nigerians? Wouldn't they see the APC right now and the presidency as well as being dictatorial, as being tyrannical, as being undemocratic? Because apparently, from what people will perceive, the presidency cannot tolerate a dissenting voice, even though it's coming from their party.
Beautiful. You see, the point is that they did not ask him not to criticize the president.
But they asked him not to say some things.
They didn't ask him not to say something. They said, if you want to criticize the president, you have to leave that position and go and criticize him in another form. Nobody is stopping you from...
party.
Yes, nobody is forcing you from criticizing the president. But he cannot be working with me. Chama, he cannot be working with me, and then you're going outside to say something different. Tell me, if after you must have taken those processes, and there are no headway with me, then it's justifiable to go and say, okay, I have tried. You know, that's the foundation I laid area. They did not stop him from this. There is not for me. I'm not a member of the APC, but for me,
the concern is how Nigerians, how this will project the president and also project APC as a party to Nigerians.
The president cannot watch his own house collapse before his very own eyes. Ndume was the chief whip of the Senate. We're talking about the chief whip here of the Senate. That means he is part and parcel of the Tinubu's government. And you know, and this, we're talking about collective responsibility. If we are disagreeing with that collective, you can leave, pull out. You have to pull out and go and criticize. Nobody is stopping you from going to criticize. Pull out of the system because you cannot be in the pot and you're complaining that the pot is hot.
All right. Spoken like a politician.
The truth.
What is your take? How do you think this will project the president?
My position is that it's just that we do not have that system of government where persons can come independently. Political party is just a mere instrument, a vehicle upon which we elect our leaders. And once you are elected, you do not serve the interests of the political party over the interests of the citizens. That should be paramount in the minds of our politicians. That you use this vehicle to arrive at Port Harcourt should not make you to see that vehicle over the lives of those who are resident in Port Harcourt. So if the interests of the masses rule supreme over these persons, the platform will not be that relevant. Again, once you are elected, you are no longer a senator of APC. You are a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And so what should be interested most, uttermost in your mind, is that of the welfare of Nigeria. And if, as a distinguished senator, he came out to say that I have tried my effort in assessing the boss, but there is this wall you cannot penetrate. Is it the letter? Where will the letter pass through? Through the spirits? There is this wall that you cannot penetrate. If the likes of Ndume will come out to say, these are persons who dine and wine in the presidency, and if they come out to say, we cannot assess the presidency.
In the first place, why would someone as highly placed as Ndume not have access to the president?
It's interest.
It's interest, absolutely.
Those who are scared that their interests will be threatened by the present or continuous presence of these persons.
So if there is interest and these people do not want Ndume to access the president, what makes you think that even if he goes through the Senate president or he goes through Shetima, like you said, the same people will allow him to see the president?
No, that's what I'm saying. I didn't say they will allow him. I didn't say that's what
he has no choice.
I said, from the statement he made, I watched the video. I watched it live.
Yes.
I said that he should have exhausted those processes.
He did not state that he has exhausted other.
He didn't say that he did not even pass through this process. He said there is a wall around the president that you cannot.
No, I expect him to have exhausted this process. There is a party. Outside the government, there is a party that he belongs to. Even though my colleague has said it's a vehicle. Yes, but that is where you belong to. We do not operate an independent system here where I can stand up and say, okay, I'm going to represent Aboudouan.
But he also raised a very valid, very, very valid point. He said, should the interest of the party be supreme to the interest of the citizens?
You see, Shoma,
because now he's the senator, according to him, the senator of the federal, representing senator of APC.
When you were highlighting this, you are saying representing Borno South APC. APC representing
Borno South. The constituents that he's representing.
I agree.
Do they belong to a particular
No, I agree.
Party?
I agree that he's a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, representing a particular senatorial district, but under a particular political platform. We cannot take away the political platform. I agree that the interest of Nigerians should come first. You know, and I'm saying that, you know, if he cannot give me 1 billion, for example, or 100 million naira, for example, and he can give me 1 billion naira or 100 million naira, I will first of all make sure I look for every means possible to get to Jamala. If I have exhausted those processes, then I will now say, okay, Chama, please help me. This is what I've tried, it does not work. I don't know I'm saying that because the only person that we know that can change the state of affairs of Nigerians, that has the constitutional right so far right now, is the president. And I'm saying that Ndume, by virtue of his position, serving as one of the longest serving senators in Nigeria, there are many other mechanisms should have explored before going to the media, which is not a place that will serve his first interest.
All right. Very quickly, before we round up in a minute, let me just, because he made a point I need you to address. He said, this is a letter APC wrote, APC National Working Committee wrote to the Senate. They said, I'm quoting just a sentence. They said, accordingly, we realize that the position of the whip of the Senate belongs to our party. And we are not opposed to whatever petition the members of the APC caucus in the Senate may have, but we are of the opinion that the distinguished Senator Mohammed Taher Monguno should immediately replace distinguished Senator Ali Ndume, who is bent on bringing down the country as the majority whip of the Senate. Now, my question is, the first line, we realize that the position of the whip of the Senate belongs to the party.
By procedure, the whip of the Senate comes from the ruling
party.
Yes, the majority.
So now it's not
party.
Interference then?
No, it is.
How is it interference?
It's interference because it is the members of that house that would decide who should be.
Well, if it
belongs to the recommendation,
if it belongs to the party can choose that we don't want.
It doesn't belong to the party. It belongs. It's not the ruling party. It belongs to the ruling party majority. If they say so, but we live in an environment where, when what's the name of this guy, the former Senate President Saraki, was in power, it was not the decision of the party. It was the decision of the members of the house.
Correct.
Because the election was conducted on the floor of the house, right? Now, if the majority comes from the party and the party recommends someone, an unknown person, and members of that political party who are in that Senate disagrees, what will become?
Then it's a different ballgame.
It's because we have a leadership that are jettisoning the rights of members, sold it out to those
political parties.
Yes, to his elders.
All right. Interesting. Thank you so much, Jamala, for coming. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you, Chama, for once again inviting me and my brother.
And you are so thank you for coming. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
I'm actually glad you guys actually finally agreed on some other topics apart from River State. It's a pleasure.
even in the River State, we agree.
In the River State, we agree.
In
but there are some points we disagree.
Yes.